Hey everyone, it's Karen. So we are going to be starting the These Truths Readathon. I will probably put together the Voxer group on Friday or Saturday. So if you want in, let me know. I will link to the announcement video for that below. But basically we're reading this book in an entire year, and we're stopping along the way to read other texts related to the time period that's covered in that section of the book. So in the first section of this book, part 1, it covers 1492 until 1799. And so I basically have been spending the past few days trying to just gather all these books that I could read in addition to that section, just to get a really broad view of what was going on with lots of different populations of people during that time, and just really to expand on the reading that is in These Truths. The first book that I'm really excited about, I actually got the idea from Lukash, Totally Pretentious, and it's a little bit cheating because it's called 1491, so it technically starts a year before Columbus came to America, whatever. So yeah, basically I believe that what it does is gives background on what was actually going on in what is now the United States before any white person got here. I believe it shows that basically they were civilized, they had religions, they had so much in place that we did not appreciate them for. And so I believe that is what the idea of that book is trying to show. The other one I have on request at the library but is not here yet is Common Sense by Thomas Paine, self-explanatory, and the Federalist Papers by Alexander Hamilton. And then this one I've showed before, Perspectives of the American Past. This is a book I own but have not read all of. We started using it in a college class I took way back in the day, but we only read certain essays from this, and I would like to read all the essays. The next book was recommended to me. I forgot who recommended it, but I know it's in the comments of my announcement video. And I accidentally got the kids version, but it's an Indigenous Peoples History of the United States, and this one is for young people. But this is, yeah, supposed to have more of the Native American perspective. It might have been Brian from Bookish who told me about this one, but I would have to go back and check the comments. Okay, and then These Truths is by Jill Lepore, but I got another book by Jill Lepore, and this is supposed to be about Jane Franklin, who's the sister of Benjamin Franklin. I got Caleb's Crossing by Geraldine Brooks. It says it's about a restless young woman growing up in Martha's Vineyard in the 1660s. She meets Caleb, the young son of a chieftain, and the two forge a secret bond that draws each into the alien world of each other. I got Chains by Lori Hulse Anderson, which I heard was amazing. I had a librarian when I lived somewhere else that really recommended this one to me. Okay, I know that the whole point of this really is to broaden and get a more diverse perspective on what was going on here from a lot of different viewpoints and not just old white guys. But I do want to read about John Adams, and I don't know that I'll read the whole thing. I might pick my way through it or pick and choose different parts. Listen, this is the reason why I like this guy or whatever. I went to his house when I was in Boston-ish area, and basically I just want to live in his library. He had, I don't know if anyone else has been there. If you have, let me know. But he has a separate building that is just a library, and it is so beautiful, and I love it so much, and I want to just rent it and stay there reading for an entire day or something. Anyway, so I don't really know much about him. Alexander Hamilton, Ben Franklin. I just like that he is interested in learning. 1776. I do have a lot of other requests of hard copies of books that are supposed to come in from the library, but we'll just see what happens. So basically this is kind of like my TBR for this event, but I don't want to limit myself. I just want to have a whole bunch of books I can choose from, and we'll see what I feel like in the moment. This is what I feel like in the moment right now. This is kind of a little bird walk, but I have been reading Sacagawea by Anna Lee Waldo. I mentioned this in my summer TBR that basically this is my mom's favorite book and I've always wanted to read it, and I've never like actually gotten very far into it because it's so big and it's just intimidating, and I would get far and I would enjoy it and then I would just like put it to the side and forget to read it. But it really is good. I like it so far. But anyway, my point was I got to this chapter and it mentioned this guy, Toussaint Charbonneau. I don't know how to say his name, but I think I'm related to him, and I'm trying to prove it because basically some of my family who is into genealogy has been trying to prove this for years, and they haven't. And then I get curious and seem to find some information that connects us to him. And anyway, there's drama. But we've also had like DNA tests in our family, and we do not have any Native American blood, but there's like our family history through like oral records, I guess. Like everyone thinks that we have Native American blood, and then our DNA didn't show it, so that was weird. But anyway, so Charbonneau is the husband of Sacagawea, and I say husband because he basically just stole her, and I don't even think that he would have married her, but it sounds like Lewis and Clark made him marry her. So it's really like a forced marriage for Sacagawea, and yeah, he's not really her husband. But anyway, I believe that the person in our family tree is his brother, because from what I have found, it appears that they have the same parents, and their great grandma, their dad's grandma, is really like famous for something. I need to research this more, but anyway, I went on this huge epic adventure to try and find more information, and I ended up getting this book from the library, Sacagawea, but this is like a non-fiction account, and it turns out that it's like a much older book than I thought. There are like pictures, but they have the tissue paper to protect them. So anyway, I need to figure out what's going on. But this is a nonfiction account, and so far I've found out a ton of stuff that has been super interesting, so I'll do a review of this when I'm done. But it was written by a professor at the University of Wyoming, I believe, and this was written in like 1932, and she researched all this, and I was just thinking about what did research look like back in the day, like how much work this would be for anybody, let alone like how awesome that a woman was a professor like back in the day. I think that's awesome. And yeah, so I'm really enjoying working through this and finding out like the true story behind this book. So that's it. If you want to join us for These Truths Readathon, there's tons more time to join. You can join us right now for covering this section that goes through 1799, or you can wait, and later in the year I'll do an announcement when we're going to move on to another section, and you could choose just to join us for that next section. Up to you, but if you want to join, please just send me a message on Voxer and I will add you to our group. I will see you guys later. Bye.